It is estimated that nearly 3/4 of lottery winners end up filing for bankruptcy soon after the windfall. Why would that be? How can it be that someone can possess a large enough fortune to never have to work again and somehow end up bankrupt? It can be answered by two words: money management. Somebody who is thrust into a situation where they suddenly own a large amount of wealth may not possess the money management skills to manage that type of wealth. Becoming rich in this way requires a change in mindset around how to take care of money. Money needs to be looked after, nurtured, and grown over time. But the sad fact is that most lottery winners neglect to do this and instead fall into the trap of spending large fortunes on expenses and impulsive purchases, believing that their money will last forever. Proper financial planning and good money management is what keeps you safe from financial collapse. Jim Rohn says it best. Jim was one of the original and best motivational speakers and entrepreneurs of our time. He earned his first million within 6 years, at a time when $1 million was a huge amount of money. He then lost it all. A few years after that, he made his fortune once again. When he reflected back on his $1 million loss, he came up with one of his most famous quotes: "If someone hands you $1 million, best you become a millionaire, or you won't get to keep the money." So, in short, money stays with people who know how to deal with money. The good news is that anyone can learn how to do that. So, in this video, we will show you 4 key management tips so you never go down the same road as a bankrupt former lottery winner. But before we get into it, are we giving you value? Is this information useful to you? If so, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and like this video. Now let's get started. Money management tip number 1. Create an emergency savings fund. Most of us are not proud owners of a lottery fortune. The vast majority of us are just getting by. Worse than that, an increasing amount of people only have enough money saved to survive 3 months without income. Even more alarming still is that there are more and more people that are living paycheck to paycheck. What this means in real terms is that if their income suddenly stopped overnight, they would only have enough savings to cover the bills for 1 month. This is obviously a very undesirable situation that none of us ever want to be in. So, money management tip number 1 is to create an emergency savings fund. To do this, you must be disciplined and taking a percentage of your wages and putting it aside each month. Start with 10% and increase it if you can. Yes, you may have to forgo eating out for a couple of nights that month. And yes, you may need to skip buying that new coat that you wanted. But this is for your future. Having this emergency fund will relieve pressure from your shoulders and buy you time if the worst happens and you lose your employment. No one wants to live their life knowing that they could be 1 month from failure, so make sure you get this done. Once you have a month in reserve, try to save up enough to keep you going for 3 months with no income. But even better than that would be to save up 6 months to a year's worth of reserves. Money management tip number 2. Keep track of your finances. Keeping track of your expenses is an essential skill you must learn if you want to accumulate wealth. I mean, it doesn't matter if you get to a point of making a large enough monthly wage of say $50,000 if you just allow it to simply slip through your fingers. If you spend as much as you earn, you will be on the fast track to bankruptcy. This is why you have to keep track of your finances. Even though it seems an obvious thing to do, the fact is that most people do not do this and have no idea how much money is coming in and how much money is going out. More worrying still is that for many people, the money they spend is often matched or surpassed by the money they earn. So why would that be that most people avoid tracking their expenses? It could be because of a couple of reasons. 1. They think it is too much effort to sit down in front of a spreadsheet and punch the numbers in. 2. They are hiding from the reality of the situation. They know that they may not like what they see if they see the real numbers of their financial ins and outs. The fact is that most people would rather take a back seat and let their money situation run its course without taking control of it. Yes, it is true that it is a bit of effort to update your expenses. And yes, it can be sobering to see how much you spend compared to how much you earn. But these are your finances we are talking about. Your finances are your future and your standard of living. You must give it your focus. Each time you tell yourself you don't have time to work on your finances, remind yourself how much time you found today to look at social media or TV. Net income. When tracking your finances, you should first start with all the money you receive. keep a monthly track of your salary income, savings interest, investment income along with any bonuses or other money outside of your wages that you receive. On the other side of the equation, we have your expenses. This is where you track all the money going out: rent or mortgage, bills, food, meals, entertainment, you name it, everything you spend. To do this, look online to find the template of a monthly financial planner that you can use in a spreadsheet. Once you have done this, you will see where you are in terms of how much you are earning and how much you are spending. The difference between the two is your net income. Let's hope it's positive. This is the reality of your financial situation, and you may not like the look of that reality. If that is the case, or you find that data tells you that you are spending it all and not saving anything for your future, then that means you have to close the gap between what is coming in and what is going out. There are two ways to do this. Number one is to earn more money. That may or may not be possible for a lot of people. So, for this video, we're going to concentrate on the second way to do this: lowering your expenses. However, before we even try to lower our expenses, we must first categorize them into two groups. Expenses group number 1, absolute needs. This is everything you absolutely must spend money on. We're talking about the essentials here, like a roof over your head and food. The money you spend on paying your bills and utilities needed to keep the lights on. You could include a gym membership in this category if you are serious about your health. But remember that you can get in shape at home without the fancy weights and machines at the local fitness club. Expense group number 2, nice to have expenses. Next, list everything that you spend money on but are not absolutely necessary. In this case, we are talking about things that are nice to have but not essential. This includes nights out at bars, eating out at restaurants, your monthly TV streaming memberships, or non-essential travel. Once you have your expenses in the absolute needs and nice to have categories, you will have a bird's eye view of where your money is going. Once you can see this, you can start to see where you can potentially lower your expenses in both areas. For example, it is an absolute need to have a roof over your head, but do you need to be in that expensive apartment in the high-rise downtown? Or could you be in a less expensive place in the suburbs? Then, on the nice to have side of the expenses, do you really need to be spending all that money on monthly streaming services for TV or music? How about the nights out or eating at restaurants? Can you buy food at the grocery store and have your friends come over instead? The nice to have expenses is where you can seriously make some cuts to free up some money that you can put towards saving or investing. Consider making some deep cuts in your spending in these areas and redeploying that money towards something that will grow for you in your future. We hope you're enjoying this video. Do you have a money management tip? If so, please share them in the comments below. So, that was our first 2 money management tips. Let's move forward now with 2 more that will supercharge your wealth accumulation. Money management tip number 3. Begin to save for your future. So now you have created your emergency fund and have begun to track your finances, it's time to start saving. How much to save depends on you. A good start is 10%, but 15 or 20% would be better. If you cannot start that high, then over time, gradually increase the percentage you are saving. Often we can fall into the trap of coming up with reasons for not saving a percentage of our money. We may tell ourselves that we are not earning too much right now, or we have a lot of expenses lately. It's important to not allow these excuses to stop us from saving though. The reason for this is because saving is a learned habit. It takes discipline, and you must learn that discipline and make it a habit. Remember, if you can't manage to save a small percentage of your income when you're making $50,000 a year, you won't save a portion of your income when you're making over 6 figures. Another good tip with saving is to not just save 10% when you get a paycheck. It's also good to get into the habit of saving 10% every time you receive money. For example, you get a bonus check from work, save 10%. You unexpectedly get a refund on your taxes, save 10%. These types of windfalls can often have us immediately thinking to ourselves that we just received money out of thin air, and seeing as it was free, we can spend it on extravagant things. That can still be true, but make sure you save a portion of it for your future. Money management tip number 4, make investments. Once you have been building money on the side in savings, you should deploy it into investments. Bank interest on your savings will not even beat inflation, so you need to get this money working for you. Investments can include stocks, bonds, trading, or real estate. Make investments with your money and always make sure you take the time to calculate your return on every investment you make. As your investments make money, reinvest it back into new investments. Never take this money or the profits from it out and instead redeploy it into new investments to take advantage of compound interest. Compounding your investments over time is the most powerful method of investing there is. As your money makes money and you reinvest it along with profits, your earning potential grows in proportion. The growth is exponential. Even if you start with a small amount of money invested, it will eventually grow into a huge sum. Compound interest and the cumulative growth it provides means that everyone, regardless of the amount they have available to invest, can become wealthy given enough time. So, you may by now be asking yourself when the best time is to start with this investment game. Well, if you are older, the time to start is now. You must start investing right now without any more delay so that your money can immediately start growing for you and your future. If you are younger, the time to start is now. Often when we are young, we don't think of investing, but starting this earlier will allow compound interest to massively accelerate your wealth, and you will be in great shape when you reach middle age. The bottom line is, whatever age you are, the time to start investing is now. A further note on this, take the time to learn about investments. Don't simply pay for expensive financial institutions to run your wealth so that you can forget about it and not make any decisions. Yes, this takes the burden off you and gives all the investment decisions to the people running your portfolio. It's also probable that you may make some money doing this too. However, it could also go the other way if the market turns. Those expensive advisors can also lose your money too, but guess what? They will be paid either way. It's far better to learn about money and take care of it yourself. Grow into it, become comfortable with it, learn how it works and how it can work for you. So now you know the basics of money management. Create an emergency fund, track your finances, start saving, and make smart investments. If you are struggling to find the funds to put money away, either find a way to make more money or lower your expenses. Remember that if you want to be the type of person who is very wealthy, you first have to grow yourself into the type of person who can handle a wealth of money. You are now on the road to that. Keep learning, keep saving, keep tracking your finances, and keep investing. Now and only now are you ready to go out and buy yourself a lottery ticket.